Hey, welcome back to another episode of No Late Fees, a show where I show you films I think you should watch. They are films that have influenced me as a filmmaker. And it's a show where we embrace physical media because why not enjoy a film with great sound quality, great picture quality, and the way the director intended you to watch the film. Thank you for everybody who watched the previous episodes. I'm having fun, getting a lot of cool feedback, which is pretty dope. Excuse the hat. I'm looking kind of rough, but we just got back in town. We were in Puerto Vallarta for a few days. And so you can expect that series coming up on the channel, starting probably by the end of the week. But yeah, I'm wearing a hat because my hair is rough. I haven't gotten a haircut, so I had to figure out a way to still be presentable. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. And all the films that I talk about today or in any show, there will be a link below where you can either go purchase the DVD or the Blu-ray, or for you new millennial people who just hate physical media, I got a link for you as well to the digital copy so you can stream it if you must. I just want you to watch the films. So if you're looking for these films, check out the Amazon link below and then click on it and you'll find it. So you're welcome. Today's first film is one of my favorite films of all time, made by one of my favorite directors of all time, who happens to be one of the greatest directors in Hollywood history too. Double Indemnity. It was directed by Billy Wilder, written by Billy Wilder and Raymond Chandler. Stars Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, and Edward G. Robertson. It was written by Billy Wilder and Raymond Chandler. Raymond Chandler is a famous novelist from the early 1900s who wrote a lot of crime stories, a lot of detective stories. This is a classic film noir about an insurance salesman who falls in love with a married client, and she convinces him to plan a murder of her husband so they can be together. So it's one of those rides that it's just, once it gets going, it's a super fun ride. Like I said, it stars Fred MacMurray. This is probably one of the first times I saw Fred MacMurray not playing a good guy, because he was a father on My Three Sons, was a show that I used to watch when I was a kid because it ran all the time on Nickelodeon or Nick at Night. But it's a show from like, I think the 50s and 60s. And he was like playing the dad. He was older. When he was younger, he was playing some roles that were pretty gangster and dark. So it was really cool seeing him, weird seeing him playing this role when you just know him as a dad role. I guess it'd be the equivalent of seeing Bryan Cranston going from Breaking Bad to Malcolm in the Middle. People couldn't see him going from that good, clean image dad to playing Walter White. But this is the opposite. He's going from being the gangster to the dad. But it's, you know, it's really cool to see. Edward G. Robertson also usually played gangster roles in the 30s and the 40s. But in this one, he plays more of a mentor, and it's a really great role for him. And I can probably see why he took this role after playing those roles early on in his career. Like I said, Billy Wilder is one of my favorite directors, and there's going to be plenty of his films that I talk about on this show. He directed Sunset Boulevard. He directed Some Like It Hot, The Apartment, 7 Year Itch, The Last Weekend. These are all great films. A couple of those are film noirs. A lot of those are classics. I like how diverse Billy was in his directing. He can do anything, really. He was just an all-around director, and I think one of the best of all time. Raymond Chandler was the co-writer of this story. Raymond Chandler wrote like a lot of dope detective stories in the early 1900s, and he's famous for creating the character Philip Marlowe. The Philip Marlowe character has been around Hollywood for a long time. There's been a number of films where he's been portrayed by different actors. There's even been television shows about that character, and I kind of love them all, to be honest. One of my favorite movies of all time is a Robert Altman film called The Long Goodbye, starring Elliot Gould. So, and he plays Philip Marlowe. Trust me, that film's going to be reviewed probably more sooner than later, because I really love that film. Double Indemnity is a pretty straightforward film. It's black and white. Come on, get over that. And once it takes off, it starts moving, and it'll have you intrigued the whole time. It's hard talking about films like this because I don't want to give anything away, but just know it gets my full endorsement. Please check this one out as soon as you can. I gotta admit, this next film I have a personal stake in because I actually worked on this film. And so I'm a little bit biased. But this is a film that I had a front row seat, filmmaking wise, on the largest budget at that time I had been around, Drumline. Drumline was filmed in 2001, 2002 in Atlanta, Georgia, and a lot of the film was shot on my college campus. So I ended up getting a job working locations on this film. But what's cool about working in the locations department, you're the first to get there and the last to leave. And you do most of your work in the beginning and the end of your day. But in the middle, you can kind of like sit around and observe. And that's exactly what I did. So I got to watch Charles Stone, who was the director of this. Charles also directed Paid in Full. And he got real famous for those old school Budweiser commercials, those What's Up commercials. Drumline is one of those films that I don't know if I would consider it a classic, but everybody I know has seen Drumline, so and they all like it. So maybe it's a sneaky classic. I don't know. I think I'm very fortunate to have worked on it. I think I still look. I still have my call sheet. I kept one. A call sheets when they tell you what time you got to be at work. And this is 23 years old now, probably 24 years old. I met a lot of lifelong friends on Drumline. One of my best friends is Omar Dorsey. He played the bus driver in this film. Jason Weaver, who played one of the drummers. He had his own storyline in the film. And my boy Shay Roundtree, I've been knowing Shay since college, and he was in this film. And his line was actually the tagline for the movie.
Cause down here it's about the marching bands, dog. Halftime. He is game time.
Yeah, looking back on it, they gave Drumline, I mean, I think it had a $20 million budget. So people would kill for that today. I remember when Charles was shooting the film, he made mention that he was shooting the Battle of the Bands like a war. And you can kind of see how he did it with the lighting and the blocking. I appreciate Drumline for everything it did for me. Quick story, this is actually the film that made me move to LA because in early January of 2002, it snowed in Atlanta. And it never snows. And I think it might have been like maybe 2.5 inches. Anyway, it had shut down the whole city. And we shut down production for a few days. So when we get back to filming, there's still snow on the ground. So production shot as many of their interior shots they can get at that location we were at. But at some point, we had to go back on the field and get some of the shots in the football stadium. So guess what happened? I told you the snow was still there, right? They made all of the production assistants and location department go out there and shovel the entire football stadium. I'm talking about the field, the bleachers, the grass behind the stadium, on top of the roofs of the dorm. The Drumline takes place in Atlanta in like the fall, so there couldn't be any trace of snow. I remember when I was out there shoveling the football field, I stuck my shovel on the ground. I looked around. I said, I'm moving to LA. God, it's like this is before Atlanta became a hub for filmmaking. I think when I was there, they probably get 4 or 5 pictures a year. But now that feels like that's how many films we get in LA a year. At that time, I was like, if I'm going to go struggle in the film business, I might as well go to LA and do it. And that night, I checked out the production schedule. I saw when we wrapped the film, and I bought a one-way ticket to Los Angeles that night. That's another reason I appreciate Drumline, because it made me move out here and then actually finance that trip as well. Drumline's just a fun picture. It's not going to win any awards. It's a good family picture. You can watch it with your kids. So it's just an all-around great picture, and everybody involved did a kick-ass job. So I recommend Drumline. Now, this next film is a director. This is the kind of film I would just love to do. It's got all the elements. It's got dark comedy, big comedy, drama, action, suspense. It's one of my favorite films, and it is Get Shorty. Get Shorty is an ensemble movie, kind of like how we talked about with True Romance last week. It has a killer cast. It has John Travolta, Danny DeVito, Rene Russo, Gene Hackman, James Gandolfini, Delroy Lindo, Dennis Farina. It's directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, and it's based off an Elmore Leonard novel. A lot of filmmakers have adopted the Elmore Leonard novel. Tarantino with Jackie Brown, Steven Soderbergh with Out of Sight, and Get Shorty by Barry Sonnenfeld. It's a story about a mafia guy who goes to Hollywood to collect the debt and ends up taking over the town. Great performance by Travolta. It's the lead character. After he got that shot from Quentin, he just went on a nice run and picked some cool movies to do. We're all used to seeing Gene Hackman as that confident, kind of brooding guy on film, but in this one, he's kind of like a bumbling idiot, and he nails the role. Like I said, I wish they made more films like this. This is the type of film I would love to take a crack at some point. It just has the right tone, the whole movie. And like I said, I love dark comedy, and I love drama, and I love crime stories, and it's all mixed in one little good present. There was a sequel to this called Be Cool, directed by F. Gary Gray, but and I love F. Gary Gray, but it doesn't hold a candle to the original. I mean, if you like Elmore Leonard stories like Jackie Brown or Out of Sight, I think you will 1000% love Get Shorty. So yeah, check it out. All right, this next film means a whole lot to me. It reminds me of childhood. It was the first novel that I read. It was the first novel that I read multiple times. And as a kid, I didn't know the film was directed by somebody who would end up being one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. So the movie is The Outsiders, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, written by S.E. Hinton. Again, I'm talking about another film with a great ensemble cast. Patrick Swayze, Ralph Macchio, C. Thomas Howell, Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon, Emilio Estevez, Diane Lane. But I mean, you're talking about an all-star cast. It's a story about class, really, and people on the wrong side of tracks and how they get looked at in society. And I don't know why I related to that story so much, but because it takes place like in the 1950s, and they're greasers. You know what I'm saying? And I don't look like a greaser, but I think I related to the characters, especially Ponyboy, because he ended up being a writer, and that's the path that I took. Francis Ford Coppola, like we all know him for Godfather 1, 2, 3, in A Conversation and Apocalypse Now. But this run in the 80s with The Outsiders and Rumblefish were just as good to me as well. I love this film so much that I have the extended version. I haven't gotten it on Blu-ray yet, but like this one came out a few years ago, and he had extra scenes. And I remember when I was a kid, I remember when I watched it on TV, there were extra scenes, but it wasn't on the DVD. But when he did the complete novel version, he added the extra scenes that I remember seeing as a kid on television. The thing is, though, he took out his dad's original score, which was amazing, and replaced it with contemporary music of the time from the 1950s. You know, and I respect the director for making changes. It's his film. You're never going to be satisfied. Art is never complete. It's only abandoned. But I thought his dad's score in this was fantastic. I still listen to it just on my Spotify from time to time. I respect Francis' decision. I just don't agree with it. I still wish the extra scenes were in the film with the original score. Then it would have been like a flawless movie. But what can you do? it's not my film. But so if you want to see a film with a lot of people who became stars, if you want to see them younger, killing it, I highly suggest you watch The Outsiders and read the book too. The book is dope. So yeah, one of my favorites, and you can't go wrong. It's a beautiful film. For our last film, it is a straight instant classic. It came out this year. It came out this spring, and it took the world by storm. And the movie is Sinners. If you're watching this channel, I'm sure you saw it. Judging by the box office, I know you saw it. But it's about two bootleggers who move back home to Mississippi, and they open up their own juke joint. What makes Sinners really dope is it is an original story written by Ryan Coogler. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. I think Ryan Coogler is going to get nominated and win the best original screenplay at the Oscars next year. It's an original film that grossed to $366 million worldwide. What's dope about Sinners is that it's a cool story. The first half of the movie alone could have been a cool story about two brothers who moved back home from Chicago to Mississippi to open up a juke joint. And that part of the movie was really dope, seeing how the town worked, seeing the relationships they left behind, they get rekindled, showing how time was in that era. The storyline with their little cousin, who's a musician in the church, the Asian couple who ran the stores in the town. Like, there's a lot of stuff they could have played with, and that would have made an interesting movie alone. But Ryan had the balls to turn this into a vampire flick. And when he turned it into a vampire flick, that film just took off. All right, I don't want to give away too much, but I thought that it was super well executed. There was a scene in this movie that was kind of controversial. I'm not going to say anything about it if you haven't seen it, but I think it was overblown. I think people looking into it too hard. It's art, it's expression, and I think it worked seamlessly into the film, and they got the message across. I don't know why we always have to be extra critical on our filmmakers, our Black filmmakers. I mean, he was being creative and made a choice, and it worked. And he's able to do it on a grand scale. Low key, Brian is like this generation's Spielberg. Every film he's done is made numbers. For the most part, they've all been entertaining popcorn flicks, and they put butts in the seats, and that's what he does. He's a hell of a filmmaker. I met Ryan back in I want to say 2011. It was when he graduated from USC. I used to go to the DGA when they would screen the USC graduate films, and one year I went, he was screening this film. It was this film actually. Fig. This is Ryan Coogler's short film from USC. And when I saw the film, I was like, man, this is incredible. So when I saw him later in the hallway after the screening, I went to him and I told him how much I appreciated this film and how dope the storytelling was. And he was like, super dope, super respectful. I'm only a few years older than me, but he called me sir. Like, and all that stuff. He said, would you like to get a copy? And I was like, heck yeah. So he's like, I'll be right back. So he ran to his car and came back and handed me this short film. And it's a great short film. Everything that he's doing now, there was little hints of it in his first short film, which is really dope. I don't have to say much about Sinners. It just came out. It's probably still in the theater somewhere. It'll probably come back around Oscar time. Because I'm telling you, it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. Ryan may get Best Director. He'll definitely get nominated for Best Original Screenplay. And I'm sure he'll win that. And I'm probably sure he's going to get nominated for Best Score. And it might win Best Score too. So Sinners, go see it. Go see it again. Go own it. Go get the 4K version so you can enjoy it in its full glory. Because you deserve it. So thank you again for watching No Late Fees. Episode 3 is in the books. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate the few comments. Share it with your people. Share it with your film lover friends and family and all that stuff. Don't forget, every film I discuss, there will be a link, an Amazon link below so you can check it out. You can either buy the Blu-ray or you can click the link if you want to stream it. Yeah, you're not going to get the full picture or whatever, but I mean, if you want to stream it, the link will be there too for y'all people, weird people. Like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Like I said, we just got back in town the other day, and we're going to start our Puerto Vallarta series later this week, so tune into that. And thank you for rocking with us. I know it's kind of weird, we're doing travel stuff and I'm doing my film stuff, but like it's a channel. We can put any kind of content we want on it. It's not like you go to NBC and they only show the news. They show all kind of stuff on TV. So we're going to do stuff that's personal to us on this channel as well too. So we thank you for rocking with us and appreciate it. Yep. Peace.